I made a couple claims that I haven't proven. I haven't proven that on purpose. The fact that people have given me money through PayPal, the fact that my parents do love me no matter what you say. I can show you text conversation, but it'll end up doxing them, which will cause you to harass them. And I want you to leave my family alone. I could prove the money in PayPal, but again, it could end up doxing her, even if it was scratched out. It's just one of those things that doesn't matter that much to prove. You saw me eating Taco Bell, so obviously you know I had some money. Where would I have gotten that money? You know I get my money on the first because you stalkers stalk me everywhere. You opening up ableist terms and racist terms all around is the problem. It is a problem like racism is a problem anywhere. Ableism, it doesn't matter. Sexism, misogyny, I'm going to point that out. I don't care if you're a liberal or a conservative, but I figure you're conservatives because you won't forgive. Liberals tend to forgive and forget. You let Bill Clinton go, even though he has actually had sex with children, and I'm only interested in 18 to 24-year-olds. I will prove every claim that I made. I will make the claim that girls sort of at the mall start giggling like I'm the Beatles in Japan when I have more upvotes and downvotes. You know the control I have over you because I've made the statement several times that if you make comments to me that are rude or concern troll-like or hateful, I'm going to delete the comments and block you. You know I have control over you. You are my little puppies. I could do with you whatever I want. If there was a way I could stop you from downvoting and only allow upvotes, I would have enact that feature on YouTube just to piss you off, just because you downvoting causes other people to downvote. Why you're not upvoting when you say that you like me means that you're lying to me. And I can't stand liars. Never mind the fact that I've lied in my past. Everybody has lied. The fact that you cannot forgive shit makes you the problem and seem Republican to me. What you will do is you will downvote and then you will laugh. But that's sort of the point, because I've already told you that I'm a Facebook comedian and a YouTube comedian. If you were there downvoting, you were there getting a massive headache by the fact that I am putting this shit out there. You want me to stop. You want me to go offline. I'm clearly recording this video out in public to show you some proof that I go outside. You'll be there like yada, yada, yada. You probably only went outside for 10 minutes. Whatever. You made that claim. Prove the claim that I'm only out there for 10 minutes. I go out and enjoy my life for like 2 or 3 hours a day. I don't sit at home all day. I don't watch TV all day. And I don't read a lot of books because I don't own a lot of books. But I do like to go out and get fresh air because that's important to do. I also like to get some exercise. That's important to do. Sometimes I'll go out walking for 4 hours a day. What do you expect me to do? Create a 4-hour video just to prove to a bunch of assholes that hate me that I'm correct? That's not going to happen. You do push me to the point of wanting to say ableist things towards you, but I catch myself. And you know damn well that there's people in this world that like it when you try not to express racism or open the N-word or use misogynistic terms to describe women. You know that there's a lot of people out there that don't like that kind of thing. And you know that there's a lot of people that do not like violence. And I have expressed plenty of views that are anti-violence. So, Chris Hansen made this claim. Well, it's not going to ruin me because he made this claim based upon hearsay. He's not making this claim. He's saying that I should go back to school, and I agree with him, but I got to take a year off. I want to relax from the school, because if I go to school, I'm not going to find a girlfriend at school either, because I'm going to be there trying to study and maintain my grades to get back on the honor roll. If I go to bars, the only way that they open up is if I have a state of concern on my face, and then the girls start smiling at me. So I guess I can't do that, because if I express concern in anything I do and the girls start smiling, the bartenders come out and start asking questions. So that's very rude. With women, when they're smiling, when the dudes are smiling, because the dudes are younger than me, but with me, I have to grimace my face and cringe for the chicks to smile at me, means that you're age phobic. It means that I have to be hurt in order for you to like me. I want to be happy. I don't want to be sad, and I don't want to be angry. You see, when my dad would say this to me as we were growing up, to the three of us boys, it would make us cry, because he did not want to be pissed off. Like when there were points where we were smoking pot when it was illegal and we shouldn't have been, and he's saying that he doesn't want to be mad at us because he doesn't want our progress impeded. And he's always been the type of guy that says go out and get a job and go to school and stuff. He's never been a selfish man, and my parents are very nice people. They do tend to be a bit concern trolly and hateful sometimes, like when my mom tells me to get therapy and I tell her to follow her own advice, and then she gets violent, and she's a progressive. That seems to be kind of how baby boomers are and millennials. So like if you express non-violence, it doesn't really matter if people hurt you, because you're doing the right thing. And I have expressed views against capitalism, which will cause my mom to leave the room politely, albeit politely. But my stepdad and I will sit there and have a conversation, but my mom will get all like pissed off in the background and tell us to stop talking and yell things like shut up, when she's a very reasonable person. Larry and I can talk about the psychopharmacological institutions being like a religion, like gentlemen, but my mom will start yelling like a 2-year-old child whenever we have a conversation, and we're sort of just like expressing our views, but also smiling and laughing at the same time. My mom can be childish. So people that tell me to get therapy are people that need to get therapy, because the only people that I've met that have gotten therapy are the people that have people in their lives that won't get therapy. You open up things like, you'll say Luke the capitalist, which reminds me of Trump saying things where he'll say like Nancy the hypocrite. That shows me that you're a Trump supporter and a Republican and right wing. That shows that you are the problem. Why there's no liberals and leftists liking my post does not mean that they're not seeing my posts. That's really bizarre to me. Why they would be hateful. It's not like you and the business suits are out there kicking it with the juggalos who support Bernie Sanders, and the Trump people in the suits all kicking it, thinking, how do we hate Luke today even though we hate each other? If you are like that, you're the problem. I've had plenty of people calling me the king, you know, but there's a lot of like that slang with the Gen Z preppy kind of dudes where they'll call like women queen and men king. So I don't let it get to my head when somebody calls me the king or something, because they're just basically saying that they like me, which is a term of respect. You'll sit there and downvote my posts just to aggravate me, but it gives me something to talk about, because you are the terrorists that you say that I am. I'm espousing anti-violence and anti-confrontational views. If I record these videos in public, they're away from people as much as I can. But it does show you that I'm getting out into public. What I don't understand is why you would say things to me like, get offline, when there's nothing for me to do out there. I can't afford to go to the bars, and the women really only open up when I'm angry. and have concern and skepticism written upon my face. But with the younger dudes, they'll open up whenever they're smiling because they're like brother and sister. The Gen Z with Gen Z are like brother and sister. With me, it's like they see a concerned dad and they're there like feigning innocence. If I were to prove it, you would just diss on me. How like if I'm in public and I'm around like 18-year-old chicks, they do start opening up like I'm big in Japan and have just touched down with my plane with John Lennon inside it, and we're gonna go play a set in Kyoto. Of course, that is a claim, but I'm not gonna prove my shit to a bunch of assholes that do nothing but treat me like garbage. You can go fuck yourselves. As soon as you start opening up upvotes instead of downvotes on me, then I will possibly make my claims proven. The reason why I won't is because I hate you as much as you hate me. If I'm kind of angry, you're kind of angry. You'll sit there and you'll forgive Bill Clinton for sticking his dick inside of little 3-year-old girls or whatever the hell he does. But you won't forgive me just because I like 21-year-old chicks. And you make insinuation after insinuation about me based on no evidence whatsoever. Prove your claim, and I will prove my claim that people do generally like me, and I'm a nice enough guy to where I can get along. I will admit that I can be a bit of an asshole. I'm not one of these like, hey, I'm a nice guy kind of guys. I can be enough to get along, but I can be a major fucking prick to people, and that might be why people don't like me, but that's also why a lot of people do like me, because if something's going wrong and some dude says bitch around me to a girl or about women, I will call him a misogynist to his little punk face. I don't care if he's wearing a flat bill baseball cap or is a hick, I will call him a punk. But I won't really do that. You know, I will say that you should stop with the misogyny. I am here to stand up for women, just like I'm here to stand up for the blacks and the atheists and anybody that's really different. I've lived with lesbians that were like SJWs, but like every other word out of one of their mouths was the N-word. So yeah, I do understand why liberals can be hypocrites and why that makes people want to vote Republican, because owning the libs is kind of a thing that even leftists understand. Leftist and liberal are not the same. I'm a leftist, but I embrace nonviolence like liberals. I like Antifa, but I don't like the violence. At the same time, I don't think yelling in kind of a queer tone of voice at people to let the kids go, where you sound kind of like a little bit gay and weak, is going to help them release the children. The kind of like thinking you could do something that's not violent and something that doesn't make you seem like a little wilting violet kind of squeaky liberal if you're a dude. I don't like it when women are mean-spirited. I don't like it when men are mean-spirited. I don't like people who make claims without evidence or who bring up things to do with the past. That is stuff that the right wing does all the time. They will forgive Bill Clinton for actually fucking children, but they won't forgive me just for liking 21-year-old chicks. That makes you right wing. There's no other way to explain it, because liberals and leftists will forgive minor ass shit like that. They'll forgive major shit like Bill Clinton being a pedophile, but they won't forgive me just because I like 18-year-old women. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're trying to convince me that you're left wing or a liberal, you can't, because you're doing everything that Trump and the Republicans do. There's a lot of anti-capitalists in this world that won't date a dude unless he has a credit card, but that's not that much of a scathing allegation. So obviously I don't point out how Republicans are the only problem. I will sit there and blast on concerned trolls and haters and narrow-minded liberals and Republicans all day until I have a girlfriend. Because I think that dudes getting chicks on misogyny and not listening to their chick and like opening up a credit card is wrong. Me being Generation X doesn't have anything to do with it. There are plenty of Generation X dudes that are like getting Gen Z girlfriends, probably. It would make much sense if they were like me and trying to stand up for women that they would. I've seen it. It's not really out there as much right now, and I don't know why. Maybe they just like found a relationship in their homebodies, and that's cool because they're not out there trying to be hip and cool in order to get, the opposite sex to like them. And I think that people are just like, that relax at home and play board games all the time, you know this from me, are cool people. I think that people that spend the time with their children and listen to their kids are cool. I don't think people that open up like black appropriation and homophobia, while also at the time saying that they are in favor of the LGBTQ community while saying homophobic terms about their enemies, makes them cool. I think that makes them trying too hard to be hip. And I think that that's the type of people that you people are. And you to me, seem like you're the right wing. You're like the establishment. The establishment, though, I have said this to people that are liberal and left wing that are younger than me, and they get it. They understand why I would be upset with people treating women unfairly. They would let things go like the past where I've shown violence. It's not like I was punching a woman in the face. It was never anything that bad. It was never anything where I was trying to yell at her. It was something where I got ticked off at her and left. And you make it into this big ass deal. So I have to keep repeating this stuff over and over again because you're acting age phobic. If they're smiling and they're the same age and they hook up, that makes sense. But if I have to have a grimace on my face and be mad, and you open up ableist terms and say bullshit like I'm a rapist or whatever, you are effectively trying to push me to use ableist terms, and I'll just go ahead and say that you're the ableist and the problem. I'm here like trying to hold back from going up to girls and like offering a high five because I don't know them, just to say girl power. If I prove that, well, fine, I could prove that, but you have to first stop being assholes to me and prove to me that you're worthy of my respect. You'll sit there and downvote my statuses and you'll downvote my videos on YouTube, but you know damn well that that just aggravates me, and that's why you do it. You're out there talking shit about something because otherwise you wouldn't be spending all your time online downvoting my videos. I'm obviously going outside to see what's going on in the world, and you're just sitting there on Facebook telling me to get off the internet when you're there on the internet probably 18 hours a day looking at people's videos, not just mine, and hating on them because you're trolls. And you talk like Trump. You say things like Karen the liberal, you know what I mean? You will say those terms. Like things that Trump says. You will say Lucas the capitalist just because I want to make a little more money and give it to the homeless or whatever. That doesn't make me a capitalist. That makes me concerned about the poor. And you can't really help people without money. So obviously I'm getting offline. It just, my focus in life would be to settle down and to meet somebody and to have a girlfriend and to listen to her and to be like the boyfriend should be by listening to her and her problems, because I think that women have a right and have been denied being heard for a very long time, and they should be listened to. When a guy says all men suck, it doesn't make me mad. It makes me wonder why she's so mad and what dude pissed her off, and I really want to help her. It's something that might come with time with you. You're either just like young, arrogant people, but young, arrogant people tend to still treat me with respect. But it seems like you're kind of like acting Republican or right wing to me. You're worshiping a dude with a credit card when you're an anti-capitalist, or you're pretty much just, acting right wing and saying stuff like Luke the capitalist when I want to make a little money. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I will point out things like you live on a bus line but drive a car, and you'll say things like, well, it won't work out. But then I meet you and you're really the type I wouldn't date anyway because you're hostile. And the people that know that they're kind of wrecking the environment are people that understand where I'm coming from and trying not to do that. I would rather ride the bus even if I lived a little further from town because I don't want to wreck the environment. I actually listen to what people have to say about that, and I think people should. So I think that listening to women is a very important thing right now, especially when the sort of environmental movement seems to be largely led by girls. and they're the ones that are like trying to make us pay attention and cry. That doesn't make me hate them like it makes the right wing hate them. It makes me concerned about the environment more because of what the kids are saying. So you'll forgive Clinton for being a pedophile, but you won't forgive me for liking young women that are drinking at the bars and talking about all the things I talk about. I reiterate this because you don't listen, and that makes you the problem.